Zadok's journey as a multi-talented artist has culminated in the release of his highly anticipated 13-track album, Perspective Black. This album showcases not just his skills as a musician and songwriter, but also his prowess as a producer. So he masterfully combines elements of bop, Amapiano and hip-hop, inviting listeners to experience a richness of sounds that really reflect his diverse influences. So the Durban-born producer is in studio this morning to chat a little bit more about his latest body of work. Zadok, good morning. Thanks for your time at this hour. Welcome back.
Absolute pleasure being here. Sounds so amazing. Yes, that's the description. It's amazing.
Well, you've done the work. I mean, we were chatting off air. You said last time we heard you were wearing red.
Yay,
red braids.
For the red project. Now we're doing Black, Perspective Black, the album.
So talk to us about that offering. I mean, you also mentioned that you didn't know it was going to become an album.
Yes,
now you've got the tracks.
So I started the journey as a 3 EP project,
yes,
like series, and it was supposed to lead towards an album, my debut album, and it was like a personal artistic development process that I gave myself. I'm gonna go through this and tell my story, because I was also going through some personal things at the time, and I was using these projects to kind of like express them and go through them. So as you know, like, the things happened over the past 2.5 years, and the EP became an album. There's a lot more content, there's a lot more things happening, like
and we're all better for it. So talk to us about what you explore. I mean, Perspective Black, it's obviously conscientizing you about agency, your own story at large, but talk to us through that healing journey you had to undergo.
So I think one of the biggest elements about it is, so, and guys, people who are in science will correct me if I'm wrong, but like, as far as I know, the color black absorbs all light, right?
Yes.
And the idea behind it was, the previous 2 projects was blue and red, illustrating the differing perspectives in life and how, like, they can affect you, right?
Yes.
This is saying both of those things are you, and accepting that both realities exist and they can exist. And it's okay to have both. It's okay to have the good, it's okay to have the bad. That is you, that is your experience. And being comfortable with that, because I hadn't internalized the negative experiences that I've had, and I was okay with them. So I was going through that process of, like, you know, this is actually me, this is my story, and it's okay to have that, as long as I don't just sit in it. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
And how hard was that for you? And then how long would that process have also taken? Because, I mean, this is literally overcoming your own inertia.
Yeah. So I think for me, I've always been able to deal with my own faults, my own issues that I've had to deal with personally, internally. I think the difference now was things being put on the spotlight. So having issues that you're dealing with, or having a pain or a hurt on a public platform, right? And it's podcast for everybody to see, right? So now you're going to, I was telling this other story that it was like, it's a dumb thing, or you're going to, for sure, you need to go up. I was going to go pay off one of my friends' accounts, and you're there, and then Cash is like, sorry for your loss. I'm like,
yeah. Yeah.
Like, okay.
But you're at your most vulnerable, but you're also at your most strongest.
Yes,
right?
yes.
Because
but
that's where strength lies.
So, but again, with that journey, it's just like, it's public.
Yeah.
It's there now for people to see it, and that's the difference with this part. So that was my journey with this, embracing that, being okay with that being part of your story, but it doesn't define me. You know what I mean? I got things to do, I got dreams, I got aspirations, and I'm pushing.
And people who obviously, you know, bask in your music, are healed through it as well.
Yes.
And so what about collaborations, though? Because working with Robot Boy, Kulichana, Shakana, those are big names in our industry as well. And I mean, how would that process have also aided this offering?
So I have had the privilege of working behind the scenes in the industry for a while, for quite a few years, successfully. I've done a lot of big things, directed big shows, executive produced a big album, and things like that. So in these processes, you develop personal relationships, because when you're going through these things, who else are you going to rely on except the person next to you in the trenches, right? So we become close, we become friends, and then we share our stories, and next thing you know, we're talking about, okay, this is what I'm dealing with, this is what you're dealing with, let's put in a song. So these were like natural conversations that just happened. Like with Robot Boy, we've both had like public losses, you know, on a public platform. So it was a natural thing for us to talk about it on a song like Nkulu, where it's Mama told me, son, one day I'm gonna make it, right? And on that song, I tell my story from Durban. I came a long way from my OT1 days. It's like my opening lyric, right? Yeah. So it's one of those things where these songs came naturally. With Kuli, it was, we kind of grew our brotherhood post, and we kind of relied on each other a bit more. Post everything. So this was part of that process, and I think we just held space for each other.
And Chakana?
We're actually from the same hood in Durban.
Okay, I actually wanted to know how your upbringing in Durban would have influenced your Perspective Black offering.
So the funny thing about it is, as a creative, I didn't have a lot of expression, creatively speaking, in Durban. Like not a lot of people in Durban know me as a creative there, right?
Okay.
So I kind of developed, I became Zadok outside of Durban.
Okay.
Because I'm also,
okay.
You may or may not be know, but I just spend a lot of time at home. I'm an extroverted introvert, so to speak.
Okay, or an introvert with high social skills.
Boom. right on it. So that's really me. So I didn't do a lot of that back home. We did find out that we did kind of like grow up very close to each other, and that we had like some personal connections back in Durban. But yeah, that was pretty much it. We spent some time. She has a studio in Randburg, and we rehearsed. A lot of us rehearsed in the studio, and we just had conversations. And again, like most of this project was organic.
Because I'm trying to understand the creative process behind, undergoing from hearing the beat, then putting obviously the lyrics, the collabs, etc. Is it just you're sitting there one day, boom, it happens, or as you mentioned, the organic conversations then evolve into?
So I have concepts, right? Okay. As a producer, I have creative concepts, and I have an idea of what I want to happen. So for example, again, what I wanted to do is I wanted to touch into what's happening in the dance bounce space, right? With like Tronada elements, right? That's happening there. And I wanted to draw the parallel between what's happening in White, right? From a production perspective. So draw those two parallels and connect it. Those bass lines, you can have those worlds meet, right? That was the creative story I was telling. And then now the lyrical story, the emotive story was more about me now triumphing over everything. That's why it's the opening track of the project. Masingen, when we get in, they're gonna know who we are, type. So that's the conversation with that song. So each song has like a creative journey with it. Most of them, again, was me just applying my creative conceptual understanding of production, because it's culture. For me, that's what I've spent a lot of time with my friends learning and developing, is the cultural aspect of how you put together production elements.
And it's amazing because, like you said, you start somewhere, and it's not necessarily where you end off, not even knowing that you're going to have this 13-track album. And so is it fair to then ask where to from here for you? Perhaps we're heading into summer season, so it's probably a befitting time to have dropped. But I mean, what else can we expect from you then?
So there are visuals on the way. We're busy wrapping the music video for Sangena with the guys. There's a couple of features that I have coming out soon. Very excited about. There's some hip hop stuff I'm doing. I really get excited to like trap stuff. It's
so
very
on socials,
energetic.
how do people keep?
You get a hold of me everywhere. Zadok Zadok Super South. We represent Instagram, Twitter,
all of
TikTok, everywhere. You name it. Zadok Yeah, that's me.
Thank you for joining us this morning,
Absolute
and welcome
pleasure.
back.